not treated walls, wood paneling.
That's that
it's
old school
right
70s funk, man. That Brady Bunch ish. I love it. Welcome to the Passion DJ podcast. I'm your host Mo Dingo, and we are in Casa de Funk. Or is that the appropriate?
Sure, yeah, Casa de Funk.
With our friend of the show, B Funk.
Yep.
Thank you for inviting me into your house, into the studio.
Yeah. Sorry, it's looking a little rough. We're in between. Like I said, I had a flood and moving things around. I used to be DJing over there, but wood paneling is real. This isn't.
Yes,
this,
it is.
This is not green screen. This is real.
Yeah, this is not augmented.
Yeah,
this is legit.
The
This is the real
deal.
stuff. So before we get too far and give me your socials.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ B-Funk. Facebook is a little different. It's B-Funk Official. So really just go to my link tree. Go to my Instagram at DJ B-Funk. It's all right there. I have a link tree. It's my YouTube, Facebook. I'm not really as active on Twitter anymore, but Instagram and Facebook are probably my two strongest.
Tumblr?
So, no Tumblr. Tried Discord. Had Twitch for a little bit.
Discord? I don't get it. Because I was never a message board guy.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how that works.
It's got power because you can get what you need, and you can share so much more. Where like Instagram, anything that happened 3 months ago isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like on Discord, you can go to different subreddit spots or whatever, and then find what you need, and then have conversations. And
because it's like individual channels.
Yeah, but you can also go in there just basically open up a phone call. So a lot of people are in there just talking. So I have a Discord with DJ Access, who's been on the show, and so with some other DJs in Columbus. It's actually just for video games. So it's I can see because you can see when they're online, and so then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna just hop in there. What are you guys playing? Oh, we're playing Call of Duty. Okay, well I'm gonna play Overwatch, and we just chat about whatever. So that's the kind of nice thing about Discord.
And I guess while you're playing video games, you can use the Discord instead of using the in-game chat.
Correct. Yeah.
So my son had to explain that to me. I'm like, wait a minute, there's in-game chat. Why don't you use that?
Sometimes the in-game chat doesn't work well, and we're getting really nerdy on this. But
it's all right.
Yeah, you can cut all this out if you want.
This show is for the people.
Okay, yeah. So, but you can use, because I'm a PlayStation player and they were PC players, so sometimes we couldn't. We weren't even playing the same games. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we also found the in-game chat for Warzone was crap. So the PC guys could hear each other, but they couldn't hear me, or I could hear them. But they couldn't hear me or something like that, and so if we all got in Discord, we could all hear each other and then make it work. So there's some workarounds, but it's just kind of nice just be like, it's almost like saying, hey, this person's online, I can just hop in and talk to if I need to, which I think is kind of what people want to be. Right now everyone wants to be available and let people know when they're available and stuff like that. So
but my status if you like
exactly,
my status.
Yeah, come find me in Discord, but I'm not really on Discord, so I use it just kind of troll around, but my socials are, go to my Instagram page, that's where it's got my link tree, and you can catch most of my stuff there. So
okay, so for those of us that have listened to the show before, when he was on about a year ago, you run our year-end show, and then we had you in just to come talk about your existential crisis about not wanting to be a mobile DJ anymore. I feel you on that. And
I got over that, so I'm doing okay. So I'll just go back and do that and be like, kill that guy. He doesn't know anything, but I'm back in it, y'all. I'm a good DJ. Don't let those crowds tell you different. So.
don't let those kids sitting up against the wall with their phones and their 7-second TikToks.
Now I will say, I'm not doing any more proms, no high school dances. I'm out. I said that.
Yeah. Doing high school stuff, like I said, they're relentless, and like I said, holding up the wall and just checking their phone, because they don't dance.
And also it's just, and I know there's gonna be 10 DJs. Would they dance at my? I get it. You're killing it, but the stuff I'm doing, it's not worth the money. And I always have to figure out, do I got the clean? Right now I download the clean and dirty version of everything just because you never know. But that's not most of my
you never know when a PTA meeting might want to listen to the
and so I
dirty
just
versions.
exactly, and so I just I don't want to deal with it. So I actually got an email this week for a prom, and I just said, oh, I'm busy, sorry, because I don't want people to know that I'm not doing it. I just don't want them to ask, but I just oh, I'm busy that day. The energy's not there. It's just not worth it. Too many things can go wrong. and it's not like I'm getting paid double. I'm really just like getting paid regular fee just to not have fun, and that's not what I want to do.
So you got over the existential crisis, but today we are here to talk about the one thing that I think most of us know you for, especially in this area, is the Trust Me Dance Party. You've told us about it. I've experienced it online. I had the pleasure and privilege of experiencing it in person last week, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to capture some media for you. That was a really good time for me. Lots of energy, lots of fun. I got to try and do some things that I'd never done before from a social media standpoint, and I feel like I feel like the results.
You were killing, dude. It was For those listening, literally driving my car. The party's Friday. I'm driving somewhere. Was it Wednesday? It's Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'm like, Mo had just shared something for the I think the silent disco or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's really good. Oh, I should just there's no way Mo's coming, because you had mentioned online, you're like, I'm coming to that. My wife and I, we love this. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna tell Mo to come to this. She can shoot video and experience the party. It's gonna be perfect, but it's not gonna work. And I was like, it's not gonna work. He ain't gonna show up. It's too late. He's got someone booked or whatever. And you came, man. It was awesome. So we're talking before the show. That reel is the highest engagement I've ever gotten, as far as anything on my page. I've got Halloween stuff, everything like that. So it's killing it, man. So I appreciate that. It's been awesome.
Man.
So
thanks for trusting me.
Yeah.
But speaking of trust, the Trust Me Dance Party. So what how did it start? Like, where did it come from? Like,
yeah. So I used to do a party called Dave Rave here in town in Athens, Ohio. It's where I'm at. Between like 2010 to like 2014-ish. It was the biggest thing ever in this town. I met a lot of DJs in Ohio because it was just a big electronic party, know, and so
and Athens is, like you said, predominantly the main employer is the university.
University, yeah. So I mean, college, OU is pushing everything, So like we have about 20,000 students in the town. I think there's 25,000 total people or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that, it doesn't seem that small. But when you told me the numbers, I was like, huh.
Yeah, there's not much away from Court Street and everything like that, and so yeah, I was playing like house music stuff, and then I kind of, like most things, it's popular for a while, then if you don't sustain it went away, so I was looking for something different. Barticus and I did some different parties. We did Back to the Future, which was a party we would do like different decades every hour.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was 70s through I think 2010 at the time or something like that. So yeah, but anyway, and we were in two different rooms. So like we would switch off. So it's like your 70s here and then 90s over there. And you can bounce around. So basically you got all these decades up to 2010. Never really hit, Barticus and I never had success together. It's weird. We had the biggest party separate, but never together. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I was, looking for another party, and I was just like, like I was doing mobile DJing a lot, and that was fine. Lots of weddings and stuff, and having fun there. But I was like, I listen to a lot of different music, and I know I'm not alone in liking like, the hip hop, and then the disco, and then like, electronic, and then like, maybe like 90s alternative and stuff like that.
Well, but I feel like, in the 90s, as the internet became more available in early 2000s, like I think like the sense of regionality when it came to music started to dissipate because you could go to certain websites and download songs for no charge.
Yeah.
and so like music, the ability to access music became like so unchained. So I think that's why a lot of us started listening to everything.
Yeah. I mean, we have access to everything. So I mean, like I'm 43. So Napster was my freshman year. So I get to the dorms, and I've heard of these bands, but there's not a place to go listen to it. So unless you owned it, like you heard the really popular stuff. So I've hearing all this new music and just grabbing. That's what really like took my DJ career, I even say, like to the moon, because I had access to so much more music and just could get things that I couldn't find. But then like hear things, then YouTube, now we have Spotify, so I can literally listen to everything. Like I heard a new
everything.
Yeah, literally everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I should say not everything is on Spotify, everybody. So I was listening to Big Frida. Not all of Big Frida's best songs are on there, because some of that stuff's like bootleg. But anyway, yeah. So I have been exposed to a lot of music and continue to be exposed to a lot of music. through the wedding stuff, different regional weddings are going to have different music, bangers from different era. And being, 43-year-old, I've gone through my era was like, 1998 to 2003. That's like my party era, and so that's a different jam from like 2010 to 2020. But unlike most 43-year-olds, I like the music that's out now too. So like I want to play the new stuff, but I don't want to just be doing that. I don't want to just be doing throwbacks. I don't want to just be doing a genre party.
Yeah, as David would say, you don't want to pigeon your hole.
Yeah, exactly. Like and there's no offense to anything. A lot of people know. I will say this: a lot of people want to go to something that they know. And so, but yeah,
they want to feel familiar.
Exactly. And so, the idea behind this party was, you know what? I'm tired of that. I'm tired. Like I spend 90% of my time DJing, playing exactly what the customer wants because they're paying me to be there. I'm a wedding, it's a birthday party, it's a this or whatever. I've been doing this for too long that I need to be doing what these guys, like Four Color Zach and Scratch Bass and all these amazing like open format DJs are doing. I'm gonna bring this party here and I'm gonna call it Trust Me. And I'm gonna say, hey, have you been to the the Athens Block Party? You have. Have you heard the DJ that always headlines there? That's me. It was awesome. Have you been to Dave Rave? You have. That's me. Have you been to any number of the street fests here? Palmer Fest. I played at the
Palmer
Number
Place,
Fest.
yeah.
Yeah, Palmer Place. Like all these. I played parties from Best Friends Party. Voted for Matt Zoe. Like I crush it. Like I know what I'm doing. And in different genres. To say like it's not just I'm just doing electronic and I'm good here. I feel like I'm pretty good in most spaces. Not everything, but most parties. Yeah, but like if it's just a party, I can rock it.
Yeah, you can play bangers from different silos.
Yeah, and I can and I'll make it sound good. So I was like, you know what? Just if you know that it's B-Funk, leave all your ideas at the door. Just know that you're going to hear music that you don't know, but that if you don't like this song, just trust that the next song's going to be good. That B-Funk's not going to fail. Because sometimes you're at a party and the DJ's playing some music and it's bullshit, and then it's more bullshit. I don't know if I can cuss on that. Maybe I should.
You're fine.
And then it just keeps. And then you don't know how long this bullshit's gonna last, and eventually you're like, oh, I should have left 20 minutes ago.
And you're kind of trapped.
Yep.
Because it's just the DJ.
Yeah.
If you're at a certain type of party, there might be another room, or there might be another DJ coming.
Yep.
But at most places, like you go to a bar or whatever, that's it.
Whatever here, yeah. And so like
you're handcuffed to that.
And then
dude.
it just keeps going. And so for me, it's like he's in this groove where he's just gonna play 90s hip hop. Nothing wrong with that, but maybe not everybody wants to do that. So I'm like, and me, I don't want to say that's boring, but that's just not what I know Athens wants to do. Because I'm not.
Because you're from here.
Yeah, I'm from here. I'm not devoid of what Athens is interested in. It's not like I'm out here.
You're not delusional.
Yeah, like I'm not. Oh, you know what? You will enjoy this. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying. You know what? Let's expand your mind a little bit. Let's have some fun.
Stimulate your mind,
exactly,
Craig.
Yeah. Exactly. And so that's why the idea was, just trust me. Just trust me. Trust, this DJ has done all these different parties and everybody's happy about it. So just trust that, we don't know if it's going to be an 80s, you don't know if it's 90s, reggae, if it's going to be house. It's going to be everything and
but it's
going
to be a banger, whatever.
Yeah, and it's going to be a party.
Drop, yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do. And I got some pushback. The Casa, the booking, they weren't super excited about the name because they didn't think it translated. When I will say a lot of people have trouble understanding what it is, and
and that's part of the reason why I wanted to come back after finally having the opportunity to experience one in person. And as we were talking about this, I think on Sunday, I was like, yeah, I'm coming back. We're going to record a show because I want this to be a platform for you to help people better understand what goes on for those 4 hours. Because, and I'll even admit, when you first told me about it, I was like, okay, I didn't realize you were going to get that diverse.
It's out there, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not any judgment on you. Just
no.
In my mind, I was like, okay, he's just going to play a bunch of bangers, but I didn't really think that you were going to start playing Rick James, and then you would play Prodigy, and then some Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, it's all like, and that's because I think I talked about this or asked this question on the one of your shows that you guys were having, or it was like open format these days isn't open format, and I know if other DJs talked about this. It's really like this like open format on rails almost, where it's like every
mm-hmm.
song has a 16 bar intro, 16 bar outro, and they're not really. It's not really funky.
First 32 to the last 32.
Yeah, it's like they're not really stretching themselves. So it's like you'll have whatever's top 40. That's what they call open format. So it'll be like top 40 hip hop, top 40 pop, top 40 dance. And like the 5 top, like
whatever
Sister Nancy
tracks
reggae tracks or whatever. It's not really open format, and that pisses me off because it has a feel to it. Just feels like just intro, outro, and that's what DJs do now. That's what they're trained for. I mean, that's what most mobile businesses are doing is this like on the rails, and that's why. Anyway, DJs, the industry is changing for on the lower end. The higher DJs always be good, but like,
but those DJs are getting paid to do what they do.
Yeah, it's easier than any to do it to be a DJ because they're making music that allows you to sound on beat. And I was like, I don't want to do that, and that's why I was like, you said like I mean, the beginning of the night I played "Frozen" by Madonna. Somebody mentioned that. I was just like, I fucking love this song. It's like super danceable, but like. I fucking love it. I played, These Boots Were Made for Walking by Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think I mean, we fucking went all over the place. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's all shit that I love. And I think that's the thing that like, I just like to have a good time and show people that. But yeah, like I'm glad you said that. Like, cause I think people are like, oh, it's going to be like you're talking about, just like any other banger night where there's not really a theme. It's just the DJ's playing throwbacks. He's going to drop back the hip hop from 2000, 2000
golden era hip hop.
And then
2000s.
Yeah,
and then he's going to play some stuff from like today.
Yep.
And then he'll maybe drop a couple things that he wants to play.
No, dude, it is. This is. I want you to be aware of this song. You're going to hear a lot of stuff from today. We did Dua Lipa and Doja Cat and Saweetie and some other stuff, but it was also like. Here's this I have a Biz Markie Barry White mashup, and I was just like, all right, this, people like just a friend, but they also like Biz Markie,
yes,
if they don't, fuck them, there's another song coming next. So,
but I don't really know, like I didn't really get the fucking vibe. I got more of like and not even like you gonna learn today, but it was more like, hey, I'm gonna take you on an adventure.
Trust me. That's what I say. Just trust me. They're like, hey, Brand, where we're going? Just trust me. Stop. Just like don't even request. Like, that's the other thing. It's a no request night. Now, some people will do it because they
don't understand.
They grew up that way and they expect that. But I'll be like, listen, you can request something.
You're at a bar.
Yeah.
You're a DJ. Oh, I'm gonna go ask them to play my song.
Exactly.
Because that's just how it is.
That's what happens. And I get nonsense. But like people ask for something, I'm like. No. But like but if it's good, I'll be like, yeah, play it. But it's something I'm already down to play, or it's in the round that makes sense. But like it's because I'm tired of that. We do that every week. That's how we make our money. Most of us, it's like we're just doing this and we have fun. I won't make it sound like I'm not enjoying the wedding.
But you're playing chess up there. It's not checkers.
Exactly, dude. It's all over the place.
You're thinking 3 or 4. You might be thinking like.
No, I'm not that far. I want to make it. I want to make sure it works.
But maybe not specific tracks. But maybe you're thinking about like genre jumps that you're gonna do. Okay, right now I'm doing like Big Room House from the 2000s. Okay, but now I'm gonna slide into some like couple 80s slow jams.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I mean like it's always my excitement for me is when can we get to 125 beats per minute of anything. That's when I'm like, because we had Percolator, we had that new David Guetta song that takes ATC good have a good night, or
good time.
Have a night of my, what I'm talking about. All that shit, Push It by Salt and Pepper. Anytime I get in that era, because I'm always like, I just want to play house music, but that night, that party won't really let me do the house music I want to do because that's another world, which is fine, but they'll let me do, Percolator and stuff like that high energy, like classic stuff.
Just me thinking about it, like from a DJ perspective and observing you during that night, like you could probably get away with 2 house tracks, but like. But like drop mixes, and one of them probably needs to be a remix, because it's
Yeah, it's not there, and
it's not there,
and that's my only gripe about it.
That's really legit. It's not there.
Yeah, and that's what
that's okay.
I stay away, and I that's my only like. I wish, because people are like, oh, he's just doing whatever he wants. I'm really not. You know, I'm in there doing as much as I can, but like, we would be like,
but like you said, that's for another night.
Yeah. There's that's coming, but like, there have been times where they let me go for 3 or 4 songs. Because we played Barbra Streisand, we played like a Yolanda Be Cool song, and there was some. Well, I played the Kid Cudi remix.
I really wouldn't even count that Barbra Streisand because that's a known
It's probably still
track.
I mean, it's like top 40 like house almost basically. So well known. Like it's really just a dance song. I wouldn't even call it like house at this point. So
did you? I think you played another Madonna track. Didn't you play like Vogue or something too? Or
I played Frozen. I don't think I played any other Madonna.
Okay.
No, I know we did more diva stuff. There's definitely Janet Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I think of you when I think of you.
And did you play some D'Angelo too in there? I think.
No, I didn't play D'Angelo.
Okay.
I definitely played some old.
Maybe in my head, I was hearing like, well,
because it's like if I'm doing this, there was I think some T-Pain that was in there. Mm-hmm. Oh crap! I should I got my DJ laptop. Actually, I can tell you exactly what I played while we're listening. Let's see what we got here. Always come prepared, y'all. Always come prepared. Yeah, but I mean that's the thing about the party. It's just I love being able to just go really anywhere, for the most part, and just being like, letting people know that like if you're in a spot that you're not loving, I don't want anybody to hate it. I don't think anybody's like this is crap. Because a lot of some DJs will just do that. This is for me. Excuse me. You should always play a song that's for you, but like they'll play multiple songs that are for them. Be like, you know what?
For like 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not cool. So for me, I'm like, okay, this isn't your jam.
Yeah.
And maybe the next one's not your jam. Maybe the one after that's not your jam. But we're gonna get there.
So tell me about like the very first Trust Me dance party. You had to have been a little nervous.
Oh hell yeah, dude! So first Trust Me, eventually.
And this was in.
This is 2000. So this is gonna be 6 years. This is 2000.
Yeah, because you were showing me the graphics for it.
17. Yeah, so yeah, this will be my 6th year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I reached out to Casa. So I couldn't get a day at the Union, so I reached out to Casa and I said,
so
hey,
Casa is a bar
restaurant.
And
yes.
the Union, that's like at the university.
Yeah, so there are 2 music venues right in Athens, or excuse me, right on Court Street, I should say that.
Okay.
The shows I used to do in the past were at the Union, and so I had never actually done a show of my own at Casa, and so that was another thing. So Casa is well known for 80s Dance Night, which is done by DJ Barticus. It's been going on for 15, 16 years.
Yeah, he told me his 80s night's been going on longer than the 80s.
Yeah,
existed.
No, it's
and it's true.
It's true. It's wild, and it is the biggest dance party I would say in town. I mean, you and I are going to check that out later tonight. It's going on, and there'll probably be a line. I mean, we'll be able to get in because I DJ there, but like, there's always a line. It's a real popular party. But that's what Casa is known for, and then Union has some other dance parties. I've DJed in the past a lot, but anyway. So I'm at a new location because I just can't get any dates, like, and so I'm like, all right, Casa, I just want to do a dance party. I got this concept. So they give me what I would call is probably like a dead date. So this is the Saturday of graduation, and this is not any shade to Casa, but it's just like what's available.
It's a risk for them.
Yeah. So that they're going to put a new party, and I get that. So that you're not going to get the banger night. They're going to make money. They're going to put 80s night or something there. So I get the Saturday graduation. I'm like, cool. Let's do it. So I'm like,
it's a date.
Yeah, it's a date.
Yeah.
I have everything. So I'm like, I'm not an artist. So I'm like, what do I do, for this? And so I this artist, Ricky Davies, had taken all of the, and I emailed you these posters, but he had taken old 80s icons. So the Predator was one, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. So
just iconic 80s.
Yeah, 80s character. He had Battle Cat from He-Man.
Okay.
He also had the Terminator. Who else? And then the Baroness from G.I. Joe.
Oh, so this is all like
childhood stuff.
Okay.
For me. And he had drawn them in a way, and he had he would take 80s, like iconic 80s lyrics and put it at the bottom. So he has like a picture of the Predator with like stunner shades, and it just says "Welcome to the Jungle." And it's got like all these like crazy like neon colors, and it's awesome. And he's got Freddy Krueger wearing sunglasses and these neon colors, and it says, "Sweet dreams are made of these." Like, the rhythmic. So I just like fell in love with its art. And everything. So I was like, I credit him, but I used his images for my posters, so I was like, I'm hoping whoever sees these posters is going to connect with this amazing art and be like, I want to go to this party, because I always feel like, this is how I do with like craft beer, which I'm a big fan of. If somebody names their craft beer like something Star Wars or something hilarious, I'm going to try it. It's
unless it's Order 66 Pilsner.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, I don't want to get murdered like that. But even that, I would try it, because I'm like, this person thinks that's amazing, and so my thought is, if I think that's amazing, there's a good chance maybe I like the beer. And so like here in town, Jack Yo's had a beer called Jabba the Stout. And had
one of my favorites.
It's got Jabba flying around in a TIE fighter.
I can only do about one though.
No, it's definitely not like a crushable beer, but it's got a picture of Jabba the Hutt in a TIE fighter flying through space with like 2 cans of like Jabba Stout, and so like, so my thought was, if I got these posters of these iconic like 80s characters, it might speak also to like people who are my age, so at that time I would have been 37, and so like, not like old, I'm old, but not too old to party, but a lot of people in town, a secret about Athens is like, anytime after you're over 25, the town makes you feel like you're a freaking dinosaur. Like, I know in Dayton, you're 38, people are having a good time. At 40, 45, 50, most towns and cities, there's plenty of shit going on. Here, dude, you're
forgotten.
Yeah, people are like, you're a dinosaur. And so I was like, I want to tell these people it's not too late. Here's a DJ who's your age, who's going to play Outkast, who's going to play Ludacris, who remembers, like you and I were talking, who remembers when In the Club dropped and we were in college. Like
20 years ago.
20 years ago, and so they can come and have a good time. They'll put the kids away, and then they'll come out from 10 to 12. So that was the idea. And so I roll this party. I'm promoting the best I can, which is also a whole thing that I effing hate. I hate promoting. That's why I hired you to take the reels and stuff like that. Like, I hate just sourcing all that stuff, because it's just more work, and
I'm really looking forward to like pumping.
Dude, it's because you got to have the idea behind it and everything, and I just hate it. You're hanging a poster, creating the poster, making sure you have enough of them, getting them up, making sure you have them in time. So I'm rolling in. I'm like, all right, like, am I really going to do this? And so I set up, and
was it like not necessarily the imposter syndrome, but the fear of
just not knowing what
the unknown.
It was more like, is anybody going to show up? Because your friends all say, "Oh, I'll be there." Oh yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, they're not coming, dude. I think of this all the time. How people like, and I'm sure he is DJ. You're asking, because we have to ask people to come to our stuff. We're not. And I just want the truth.
Yeah, just bring a friend.
Yeah, or just tell me the truth. You're not interested. You can't make it. Like, people will be like, in my mind, people like, they'll be getting married the day of my show and be like, "Oh, I'll see. Maybe I could be there. What's going on?" They already know that they've got this thing, but they don't want to tell me in my face. So they always say, "Oh," so like, I'm inflated, like, "Oh, all these people are coming." So anyway, we get to that night, and dude, it was really good. Like, it wasn't like absolutely banging, because it was still like, come on, it's Saturday graduation
weekend.
So there's a lot of things that happen on graduation weekend, and the same thing homecoming. People don't think about. A lot of people don't want to go to something new. They're graduating, so all the dorms have cleared out. So like, the younger kids aren't there. It's just the people who are sticking around either for the summer or graduating. People who are graduating, for the most part, don't want to go to something new. They want to go to the bars they've been going to, because they're leaving.
And they want to go hang out with their friends for one last time.
Exactly. So it's a hard night. That's why I got it. And we had a nice crowd. It was it was smaller than what you saw when you were here last week. But it was a nice night, so much that they invited me back, and then I started doing it like 3.
So it was enough that they, like you said, they invited you back.
Yeah, like I didn't have to beg for a night. I say, "Hey, that was great," and they just they figured out the pay and everything like that, and they're like, "Yeah," and then we just kept rolling. So.
So then, you said this. So this is number 7.
This will be 6. This will be the 6th.
Okay, so this will be 6. So, at what point did you realize, like, okay, I have some traction now? People understand. Like,
it was probably somewhere. I'm trying to think. Was it the anniversary party, or was it the? It was before the pandemic hit. It felt really good, because I was also like putting up more things behind me, so I was getting like posters and stuff like that. Because one of the things I realized,
you said you did the projector.
Yeah,
stuff.
so I hadn't done the projector. That came if I'm pretty sure it'd be after did I do that before the pandemic? I can't remember.
Oh, so all the graphics, that was all part of the pandemic thing?
Yeah, that was mostly. I'm almost positive that came out of the pandemic. I'm trying to remember.
The Twitch.
Yeah. I know it went into overdrive. No, that was after pandemic. I'm almost positive. Maybe someone's got a picture of it, but it was just me off to the side, and then I left the stage open, and then I started putting a sheet there, and I started playing videos up there or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I was like, the same thing, like I want my party to be different than other people's parties,
And how much of that was a throwback to like the old raves when you would go into a certain room and they would have like the project? Okay, so
100%.
You didn't steal the idea; you just borrowed it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll never forget. I was at a bar in New York. And they probably just had TNT on, but the second X-Men movie, the old school like 2000s, was on, and it was on a bunch of TVs. And I just thought that was like the coolest fucking thing ever. Like it's just X-Men,
just for no good reason.
Yeah, so it was just on, but I was like, it changed the aesthetic, and I was like, like having certain movies like this can like change the aesthetic. There's different energy when you see a certain scene, and so yeah, I mean, we can talk about that later, in this show but like, I took that to the next, just, that was something I was like, I put a lot of effort into, because I think if people connect with the videos that are on there, that's going to bring them on. And, what we had to do with the pandemic, that was a whole nother visual medium that I had to like incorporate. So I've just brought that to the show. So.
Okay. So then you figured it out, you get it under control. You're starting to develop a following. Now it's not a lot of college students, I'm assuming, that are coming to these, because you do. Were you doing 2 a year?
So I was probably doing like 3 or 4 a year. So I would do. So I started in April. I'd probably get one date over the summer, and then I'd have 2 in the fall, and then I went back to like 2 in the. So basically, it was like 2 spring, 1 summer, 2 fall, and like 4 or 5 a year, depending on how the dates fell.
So then you're getting some traction, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemic hits.
Kills me.
Well, kills all of us from a DJ space, because the places where we were making money were not deemed essential.
Yep.
Yes and no. Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Yes.
Yeah. We've been there. We've
had this conversation on other shows. Okay, so then you have to pivot. So then, how do you? I mean, had you ever thought about not doing anything, or was this just something that the online version, was that just like out of necessity, or like?
Yeah, I mean, so everything I had shut down. Yeah, it was just everybody started picking it up, and I was like, I never thought about DJing online. It was nothing that I didn't even know was a thing. And then it was like, people are doing this, okay, like there's audiences there, and then, it really. I mean, I hated the pandemic, but it's really helped a ton of ideas that I had, because I had all this time. I connected with so many more people, I think, that know what it is. It's because, I mean, the Trust Me Dance Party was basically P-Funk is gonna. So I don't do this at my current party, so I don't do. But online, we would start with a power hour. I don't know if you remember that. So every party, it'd be 60 songs in 60 minutes, and I'd be like, do a drink.
Yeah. So then, so for the power hour. I was tuning in power hour, so I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
But then you said something in the marketing is like, just make sure you have something to drink with you.
Yeah. Why? Okay. Of course. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there. Hey, okay. Every got the Twitch on my big screen and everything. He's like, all right, guys, we're getting ready. Blah blah. And then you just in the middle of a song, drink, and I'm like, oh.
This is for real. Yeah, no, it's an official. And like, so, yeah.
And it was without any sort of frequency.
Exactly.
You just say drink.
Well, I was timing it. So it was 60 seconds. It was every.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
okay, it sure didn't seem like it.
It was 60 songs. I guarantee it was 60 songs. 60, maybe it was 57 seconds. Maybe it was 62. But we ended after an hour. Because I mean, that was something I always did at OU. That's how we pregame. We do power hour, then we go party. Like, because OU is a party school. Like when I was doing Dave Rave, we were party school number 2 in the nation. And that was like
behind what, like Bowling Green or something, or ASU?
No, it was like ASU, I think, or maybe it was like Pitt or something. There was like it moved around, but like we were number 2 in the nation. Like, and I was throwing the biggest party at OU at the time. It was, and doing the block party.
There should
and
be something on your degree certificate for that.
Dude, I mean, there should be some sort of accolades. I have Dave Rave shirts that say, party school number 2, we were robbed, and because that was our thing. Like we were like, we got to get this number back up to number 1.
Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? I mean, now we're not even ranked. I think we're out of the 20. Anyway, that not an old man complaining, but we would do a power hour in the first hour, and that's when it was you think Trust Me Dance Party is crazy, you got to trust them. Power hour is like, dude, we're doing 60 seconds of a song. I'm going to get weird with this or whatever, because there's if you don't even like it, by the time you figure out you don't like it, it's on to the next song.
Yeah,
so you're
and
fine
you're
or
drinking.
whatever. Yeah, so it would do that, and then my parents were coming on. They were my biggest supporters. They're probably 20, 30 of their friends showing up. And oh, that's little Brandon.
Yeah, I had my sister watching in California.
Yeah, people loved it. People were sending money. But then that's when I was like, okay, if people are going to be seeing this, I got to give them a show. And that's when the video stuff, I've got all this time because I'm not working. So I went and I figured out how the YouTube rippers work, so I was pulling things off, and I'm just in iMovie.
Allegedly.
Sorry, yeah. So I'm contacting Universal Studios, be like, send me your files. That's what I did. Yeah,
I'll sign the release.
Yeah, I'm contacting Steven Spielberg. May I use your film? He's up, absolutely. B-Funk, do whatever you need.
It's for the people.
Yeah, it's for the people. Above board, he understood and but yeah, I'm learning how to so I'm using iMovie. Using Canva to create little things. So the other thing was people are tuned in, but you have to bombard them with what's going on and what to do. So I was like, if you're enjoying the party, send a tip. And there was my Venmo and stuff like that. And people just started. I've got my friend Casey, my wife's one of her best friends. She tips me $50 every show just to play Tupac or Ja Rule. It's amazing. She did it she did this past party. It was I was going and someone came up and asked to request a song. I was said Venmo $50. It's Ja Rule or Tupac. I'm which is stuff I want to play, but I love that kind of stuff. People who support that. She's like, I've got the money. You do great. I want you to enjoy it. I love people who think that way. And it's not somebody just trying to be awesome. It's just hey, you know what? Appreciate what you're doing. I know this doesn't exactly fit what you're doing. If you can make it happen, it'd make me happy. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. Because a lot of those kids didn't want that. But anyway, online, so I had that. I was figuring out the visuals, but I just kept going deeper and deeper.
So for those at home that haven't had the chance to watch, explain the visuals that you're casting, because that's not that I don't enjoy the music, but that's always one of the highlights for me. Is to see the stuff that you've added, because it's kind of this is
it's constantly added. Yeah.
What do you call it? What do they call it? An infinity bottle, like bourbon drinkers. They take a little bit of what's left of their bottle and they'll pour it in another bottle.
Oh, okay.
So there's all these different types.
And
of
that
bourbon.
is what my reel is.
It's an infinity reel because it just gets a little bit longer every time. And the last one, I was like, man, I was seeing some stuff. I was like, whoa,
dude, it is. Yeah. So for me, the other thing, if I wasn't a DJ, I would be doing something in the movies. I went to school for audio, and I wanted to do audio for post-production for film. I love movies, and so
scores and stuff like that.
Scores, Foley, dialogue, whatever. That's what I truly love. But that's another realm, and I do love mixing and stuff like that. But movies, if I'm not DJing, I'm watching movies, playing video games. So I just went, and I know the one that you love. So to give you a flavor, I was listening to a podcast and someone said, "Did you know that in Predator 2, there's a deleted scene on the DVD,
the director's
cut, where all the Predators, if anybody's seen Predator 2, there's a scene inside this spaceship
at the very
end, and there's a number of Predators, and they're all doing this 90s club MTV dance choreographed together." And I was like, this can't
they're
be
pop
true.
walking.
Yeah. And so I went on YouTube, Googled it, and they're maybe this will be in the show notes. There'll be there's 6 Predators all in full garb, popping and locking. Yeah. And it is
doing the up rock.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's everyone who would watch my show would comment. There's a number of things that pop up. That's one. There's a video that always shows up. It's a video of Elmo, basically from Sesame Street, dancing on the moon. He's just super hype. People love that. And then I'm trying to think. There's also the anybody who played the Nintendo game Dribble. When you try and do a dunk, there's this animation that it was very cinematic.
16-bit animation.
I would always fuck it up. And so for some reason I was like, if anybody's played this game would know that. And then I've got 80s reels. So then there'll be that. If you've seen the movie,
don't you have some commercials in there too?
I've got commercial. I've got I've got. So if anybody plays Overwatch, was a competitive game.
Yeah, you got
I have
Overwatch
all my
clips
play
in
of the games, which is super nerdy. But I'm like, you know what? I earned this shit. I'm gonna screen grab all this stuff and put it in there. I've got there's somebody took an episode of The Simpsons where Homer is making the flaming moes, and so he's just mixing all this stuff together, and somebody just made it look like he's making lean, and it's hilarious. So he's pouring all his purple NyQuil and stuff. And I think he does actually pour NyQuil in there.
Well, but that was the secret ingredient, was some sort of cough medicine.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why he got sued.
Nobody really knew, and so but in the video it looks like and then like it turns all purple and looks like he's like on lean. It's slow motion, and I just think that's hilarious.
Purple drink,
exactly.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, and so for me, I just figure if I think this is funny, there'll be at least one person out there that thinks it's funny, and that's the thing. Like for anybody who's listening and trying to do parties, if you're just relying on the music, it's not gonna work. It's just the music is all that really matters, but you are just literally missing like so many other elements of your show. That's why the best DJs have all these production lights behind their stuff.
And it's not crazy what you're doing for the visual part, because all you had was just like a 27-inch TV next to you, and it just kept playing the reel. Mm-hmm. It's like you said, it's 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's literally 2 hours long.
It just kept playing it over and over.
So where I was DJing, I used to DJ off to the side, and I had when I came back of the pandemic, I had it all on the giant. They have a projector, and it was on the stage. So the whole stage was like that. And what I found was like it was too much. Some people have the visuals, and it'd be like people just stop and not want to dance. I wanted this to augment the show, not be the important thing. And so, because at first I was like, I spent all this time making this. I need people to see it. God damn it. You're
I need people to understand how
I need
hard
people to
this
see
was.
my play of the game from Overwatch. They need to see the Predators dancing and laugh like I do. Then I was like, it was messing with the lights, but it was also like, it just felt weird because I was off to the side, and it was like, it'd be one thing if it was if the visuals were synced to the music in some way.
That would be hard.
That would be very hard, and it would be really cool. But that's not what I'm doing. It's the music isn't linked to this. It's just. I
wouldn't even say like an appetizer, but it's just more like a.
It's just a spice. It's on top of it.
It's a little something on the side. It's a chaser.
Yeah, and then for me, I think you stop dancing for a little bit, and then you go over there, and then you see Wolverine doing something amazing in like one of the X-Men movies. Like that's really cool. Oh shit, Blade is in this scene.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, oh my gosh, that's Jennifer Aniston like doing a striptease in that one movie, or like that's the some giant twerk video. There's like there's
that Benny, is it Benny Bonsai?
Yeah, or Benny Benassi. Yeah,
I walked by in that video and I was like, whoa, I haven't seen that in a while.
I've got the
that video is a showstopper.
Yeah, a lot of like showstopper stuff like that. The like iconic stuff that I think people can then connect with. A lot of music videos like the Dr. Dre video when the little boy is like dancing, he stops like this, from the Nothing But a G thing. Like a lot of like if you were like a connoisseur of MTV. Dude, you're gonna know so much stuff.
Yeah,
from that.
And it was funny as I was like going around taking pictures and video. I would watch people. I'd stand by you behind the screen, and I thought they were like trying to get my attention, but they were like stopping dancing and grabbing their friends and pointing at the screen.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like I've got it set up so a few things like because I know the ones people like, so I have them come because in 2 hours no one's gonna watch the whole thing. So like I want every 10-15 minutes, and that's what I'm saying. Like people will then stay longer. Because maybe they don't want to dance a little bit. Now they just watch it, catch their breath, and then that song that pulls them back in, boom, do that for like 20% of your crowd. And all of a sudden, you have a bigger crowd.
But then there were plenty of people sitting at the bar just like watching the TV too.
It gives everybody something to do because a lot of people are like, well, I don't dance. Well, you could just watch these videos. Be entertained just by the music and the videos. And I love it. Like I said, there were two guys that were watching these plays of the game from Overwatch. And they're like, oh, like I saw the face every time it happened. And I was like, you guys play? Like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I was like, that's me. They're like, oh, that's awesome. And so then like, I feel like that's another way to connect with my audience, and I really like that. Whereas like, if I didn't have those videos I wouldn't know anything about if they even know this game. But now I know, like, they love what I do. They've played this, and it's another way, like, I really like B-Funk. He's into this. And, I mean, so many people, when we had it online, were just talking about all the different stuff that I had on there. I mean, that's what people show up for. They're like, oh, I love this movie. Oh, you've got Labyrinth on here. Yeah.
The GOP when they're having dinner, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're doing the little dance and they're singing and everything.
All the crazy stuff, dude. I mean, I was, any child, if you're a child of the 80s, you are going to love my reels. I'll put it that way. And if you want to see any of them, you can go to my Facebook page. It's not my Facebook, my YouTube page. It's B-Funk Official on YouTube. I've got all my old videos. I used to do a show called The Nostalgia Machine, which is electronic music from 1990 all the way through 2010. I did that every Sunday for like, I think 40 weeks or something like that. But I have all my video reels there, so you can like kind of get a taste of what you'd see. And that's pretty much the core of it. I've been adding on to it, but like I said, we had about a 2-hour reel, and it's all over the place.
Yeah. So now here's the part that I want to know about.
Sure.
As I was listening and when I watched you on TV or on Twitch, the songs, like, where did they come from? And because, well, like I was telling you earlier, when he's doing this and he's playing the song, sometimes he's drop mixing, and you're only playing like 32 bars of a song. And so I'm like, man, he's going to burn through all these bangers, if he keeps just drop mixing and stuff like that. But it's not every song, and sometimes you even play like just 8 bars of something and then move on just to get people's attention or whatever. So like,
it's
where does that playlist come from? How do you create it? Just like I that's where I'm like so interested in like how you come up with that.
There's a lot of different ways to approach it, so I want to make sure I answer. I mean, for me, so when I'm collecting music, I'm like, oh, this is a Trust Me Dance Party song. You know? So like I'm looking through this. Here's a good example of like a Trust Me Dance Party song. It's Night and Day by I'll Be Sure. And so like and it's just like old school 90s. Like none of the kids know that, but I'm like, dude, I remember like being in the car with my parents and like that song coming on. I'm like, I feel like someone will resonate with with that song. And so I think about these moments that in my life, and the same thing, I'm like, I know someone's going to feel good about hearing this more so than like, in my mind, I could play the absolute bangers all night if I know them. Keep in mind, if I know them all, I could play just the bangers. But you can't just do that, because like if you only play, in my mind, if you play, so think of like power rating. If your bangers are 10, you can't just play 10s all night because there's no 11.
There's no 11.
Yeah, the 10 starts feeling like a 9 and an 8. So that's why you got to
start
do
watering
10,
everything down.
7 and move around. You got to let people rest too. And so I could just play those 10s, or I could play like an old school, like, this might be a 12 because it's so like out of the place. They could be that. And so like for me, I'm like, I have these songs kind of around. I'm also arranging them kind of like what can mix well, but also like, like if I'm at 85 beats per minute, I've got a certain style of music that I want to pull out, but really like, I'm just like, there's a few places I want to go, but I'm really like, I got these choices. This is the crowd where I'm at. And I want to make sure I want to play something that I know is going to work, that like isn't necessarily for me, but I think I enjoy. And then there's stuff I'm like, this is for me, this is going to work. It works mixing wise, but I don't know if the crowd's going to fully, but I'm like, I'm willing to find out.
So are some of the stuff that you put in that list, like as you're collecting it in the off season, I guess, or some of those like just I'm going to take a chance on this one.
Yeah. I mean, like,
is there any type of, logic, or is there something that behind picking those wild cards? Or?
Yeah. So like a lot of the stuff I try and like I have a genre in my computer called dance rock, and that's probably like one of my favorite genres because I don't find a lot of it. And so like dance rock would be like more like disco tinged rock and roll, and so like you can almost mix it, with like it's like 4 on the floor, and so like a lot of those songs, it'll be like indie rock and stuff like that. That's very, very danceable. And so I get excited around that stuff because like Athens is very much, it's like a rock and roll town, so it's like for me,
I can see that.
Yeah, I can like fold in a lot of the songs that I really want to play, but then keep them excited. Be like, like this song is "Dancing Is the Best Revenge" by Chick Chick Chick, which is really just 3 exclamation points. Like randomly found this practicing for the Nelson Music Fest. I was like on Spotify and I was going through some songs and I heard this. I'm like, it's just got a sick bass line. It's like 117 beats per minute. So like for me, I get excited about like it's almost like that nerd like, oh, you've never heard this before, so this is gonna be great. That kind of like feeling, but also
a little bit of an elitist.
but keeping it like this is a danceable song. You know, just trying to like what we do with DJing. I want you to experience something new that I've heard because I remember the first time I heard these songs and I'm like, man, this is really good. Someone else should hear this, you know. And so then I just start collecting these, and I have like lists on Spotify. I've got like, I've got must plays. I've got just Strictly Trust Me, which is a lot of times just older songs that I forgot about that I need to remember about from when I play. And then I've just
like tried and true bangers.
Yeah. And then during the pandemic, I actually I did a show with Access on his podcast of just like library management.
Yeah.
Because that's why I wanted,
that was a really good show.
Yeah. And I want.
And I think I talked to both of you separately, but like when you guys told me you were doing that show, like I was on there when it was going on. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. Like this, oh my God, everybody needs this. And Dave was saying like, that's one of the worst watched shows of all the shows. I'm like, are you serious?
Oh, dude.
Are you serious? You people need this.
Dude, it is gold, and I get it. Like, and because it's not sexy. It doesn't lead to clicks, but it was like, because I was gonna stop DJing watch the other episode. I was like, this is out because I couldn't find my music. I couldn't find it was
when you got your new laptop too, right?
Yeah, it was just under, because I mean, it's still file management stuff, but it was under so much crap, and so then I was just like doom scrolling, and so then I started just sourcing all stuff, and I found so much
many
music.
bangers.
Oh yeah, like I've got like, because I've got 80s, and it's like, is it pop? Is it R&B? Is it dance? Is it hip hop? Is it disco? And so then I can just go right to those, and then it just zooms in, and like you said, like I'll be playing songs really fast. Like I already have the mix points, I already have what key it is and stuff like that, and so like things are just moving faster and finding so much more, and that's the essence of the party, because it has to be fresh, because otherwise I'm just doing another open format dance party, and that's not special. That happens already every night on Court Street. A bunch of DJs are doing that, and not offense to them, they're just playing the top 40 stuff, and that's current now. But like, I'm not.
But they're good at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
that's a skill set,
and that's what that's what that crowd wants, and that's what they're good at. And
they're not there for exploration.
Yeah, exactly.
They're there to have a good time.
And like me, I'm literally off of Court Street. It's over on Casa. It's just, even though it's like like a quarter of a block from Court Street, but it's like not on the main drag. And
like off Broadway.
Yeah, exactly. People are trying to find something different, and I want to give it to them. I want them to be like, oh, this is that old school R&B. Like, I'm looking at this list right here, and yeah, I played like The Funk by Daft Punk, Praise You by Fatboy. Dude, that was a great mix, actually. Looking at it again, but that was like 90s, or not 90s, like late 90s, electronic, before it even was EDM.
That big room.
Yeah, and so, and then, Don't Bring Me Down by like Electric Light Orchestra. That song is always, dude, if you're doing weddings or any space where white people are, play that song.
Caveat, we both respectively have,
yes, white partner. That I would love for the white people. Don't get me wrong. I'm my best friend. But yeah, we understand.
But you did tell me the thing about, was it Twist and Shout?
Oh yeah,
and they clap at the end.
Telling you, mobile DJs. Play the song. Now you gotta play the song.
I dare you.
You gotta play the song all the way where it's like dun, dun, and it kind of like rolled. You can't really have a mix out of it. They literally stop and and then they just walk away. It is.
What was the other one you told me to mix the two together?
Oh,
I never would have put them together.
Dude, this is
Staying Alive.
This is how you do it. So this is a trick. This is B-Funk.
This is the secret sauce here.
So wherever you're at with mixing, if it's not going great, Don't just pull this out when things are going well. Pull this out when you need to either save yourself
this is like break in case of emergency.
And also because of how the song starts, just drop in Dancing Queen, and everyone's and then mix in Staying Alive. They mix so perfectly. I'm not saying because once Staying Alive, people every time my crowd's like, oh. And it's like the mix that I'm doing is not any more interesting than
everything
all my other
else
songs.
you've just done.
But for some reason, people know those songs so well when they can hear the two
beginnings,
things, like mixing together. Dude, I'm telling you, and it works at really any age group. I mean, but probably the only place you wouldn't be using it is like current college students. But like anybody 25 and up, because everybody, ABBA's back. People love it. I played Gimme Gimme last night, and then I played. I think that's the only one.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone play that song.
Yeah, no, dude,
I've never heard that song on a system before.
Exactly, dude. I didn't even have it until like last year. But like, this is how crazy ABBA is. DJ Bardicus is a local DJ here in Athens. Did an all ABBA night at the Smiling Skull.
Well, you can do that though, because for people that don't know, like ABBA,
I'm saying
they're deep,
I never thought anybody would even show up. It was super popular.
Man.
He's doing it again. So it happened during Brew Week, and it was like, I mean, the paper wrote about it. It was like a big deal. It was a slow news reel, but and he's got a connection. But it was like in the papers, like Bardicus doing ABBA night at Smiling Skull, which is like this big dive bar. If you know, that sounds like
it's like jumbo shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like they're back. If you don't have ABBA in your like database right now as a DJ, you can change that. I'm sure we all have Dancing Queen, but don't stop there. Go and get Gimme Gimme. Go and get
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. Yeah, those two right there, they'll pop off. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I have had people ask me to play Mamma Mia at a wedding before, and I was like, "Are you messing with me?" No, and I played it in like these under 20s or these 20-somethings. They knew every word.
Yep.
It was It was bizarre.
Yep. And that's the glory of music, and that's what I love about Trust Dance Party. It's like, you never know what the kids are like. The music came out 10 15 years before they were born, and they're just all about it.
Oh man, there's stuff that my daughter, like, she'll be going through my my laptop. Hey Dad, do you have this? And she'll just like search through. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, can you? And she'll just like export them. I'll like look at the history, like when she goes home, like, why is she downloading why is she downloading this stuff? And it's just like, but she's been surrounded by so many different types of music in her young life, because all of her grandparents are still alive.
Okay.
So, with my dad, he obviously Jamaican, being into reggae, and then my mom, Japanese, but really big into R&B and like some of that the British wave, is that what they called it in the 60s?
The new wave?
No, the 60s.
Like the Beatles
and all those guys. My mom was into that stuff, and then me listening to everything under the sun, and then my wife, she's very into like folk type stuff, and then throw in her brothers, and then her grandmother on my wife's side, not the like country, like old twangy, blues.
You got everything. Yeah.
She literally has heard everything her entire life, and so just looking at her playlist, it's like very. Like, I thought I was pretty diverse. My daughter's like just. Boom,
that's the thing, man. I mean, growing up in Athens, Ohio, listen to I listened to country western every day on the school bus, and I effing hated it. Y'all like country western, that's fine. I don't, and so, but I had to adapt. Then we had MTV. I grew up here, so it was like grunge rock. So I had all these different phases, but I always want electronic music, and so I've always been like trying to attract, and I want to bring that music to my party, and that's why I'm like, all right, anybody who was in this era might have heard. Like, it was crazy before I went out Friday. I was having dinner at Jack Yo's, and I was wearing my Fat Boy Slim shirt, and this guy comes up and is like, "Have you seen him live?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw him at Woodstock '99." And he's like, "Oh, dude, he's the best. I've seen him twice." And we had this amazing conversation,
with a stranger,
about Fat Boy Slim, because he's probably my top 3 DJs of all time.
I should have tagged him in some of the videos because I got some really good shots of him.
Oh, dude. I mean, yeah. And that's the thing that, we're talking about a pandemic. I bought that shirt. There was a
the live stream.
Yeah, the live stream. It was like $60. It was crazy. It was like it's like a $15 shirt. But I had to have it. Didn't have a Fat Boy. So, but like that's the stuff I wanted. Like, he and I were talking. He's like, "Oh, I saw him in 1999 or something like that." And then we jumped to Chemical Brothers, who we both had seen, and it was just like, and that's what I want to happen at my parties, where it's like, let me drop this song. Oh, this is a moment I remember being here. Like, everyone has moments around these songs.
Food and music are the two things that I've always said will evoke memories.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I remember going in here like it was yesterday. I remember going to Panama City Beach, and Rihanna's SOS had just come out, and literally, it's a Holiday Inn Express, and it's like it's just blasting. Every 3 songs you go in a Club La Vela, SOS. And anytime I hear that song, I just think, going to Panama Beach, it's like Florida to hear the song or whatever, and so like it's just like that's what I want at my party. So I'm like, if I have these memories,
somebody else
will,
does,
you know, or and something, or a good feeling, or something about it. And if not, on the next one. That's how I would think about it. It's not like a fuck you attitude. It's just like, if this one's not resonating with you, it's okay. We'll get to you in a second.
Have you ever thought about taking it outside of Athens?
That was my hope. You know, I hope I can do that. I really thought that this like concept is like so different that it would pick up and people would want to see this in different places, because it's like, you know, this isn't like, you know, it's hard to take a genre party on the road, you know, someone's already doing it.
And I don't mean this in a rude way, but anybody can do that.
Yeah. I mean, anybody can. So yes and no, but it ends up being a novel thing. Nobody can copy what I'm doing, you know,
for sure.
So it's like, you know, it'd be like, you know, me coming in, like, I'm going to bring reggae night to Dayton. It's like, no, anybody can do that, you know? Like, and so my thought is like, my thought was like, this is its own thing. You're just trusting the DJ. It's almost like in a way, you're hiring the DJ, because like normally you're just gonna, you know, you're gonna have David Guetta. You're hiring David Guetta to do this.
You're not gonna give him a set list.
Yeah, exactly. You know, same thing. And my thought was like, hey, this is this type of party, and so you're essentially hiring B-Funk, but it's kind of this concept, and you can explain the concept, why there's no requests and stuff like that. But I haven't put too much work into it because it hasn't really hit that critical mass here where it needs to like leave this place, you know. And that's not hating on my success. I think it's super successful. I've been doing it, but like it needs a little bit more energy, and I'm hoping with like how I'm marketing and the stuff like this, people pick up on it, kind of understand, because I think a lot of people also just they come in and they don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, you know? and not to discredit anybody when we say, oh, anybody can do that.
Yeah,
it's easy to find a DJ that can play a genre in a town.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like sorry, it's easy for, I think, people to it is easy. It is difficult to tell a crowd why this is important. And I think that's what I was trying to share. You know, so like you may be doing the best whatever genre party in your town, you know, or city or something like that. You might have the best 90s hip hop party here. You might have the best, you know, 80s night somewhere. You might have the best 70s night, disco night, whatever. When you try and explain that to a promoter or a party, like, why did you say we already have somebody who does this, or like this isn't? But when you say, oh, I'm going to do this concept, you know, and it's going to have the best music, that becomes different, I think, for people.
It's very abstract.
Yeah, you know, and it allows the mind to go and make a better party than if you just specifically. It cuts both ways though, because and I've had conversations with a lot of DJs here in town where like we literally have to spell out what's going to be played at the party, or people won't go. You know, like, I mean, I do know, like, Barticus I've talked about, his very specifically, you know, well-explained parties. He does 80s night. He does 90s night. His Millennium Dance Party. Like, you know exactly what you're going to get into those parties. You know, you're going to hear 80s. Like tonight, we're going to hear 80s. We're not going to hear anything else. It's going to be 80s. I think he does one of the best 80s nights anywhere, you know, but like for the general audience, would they know that? I don't know, you know, but he does the best party. And so that's what I think what happens when you have this, you know, when you're just using these genre parties, the average audience, unless they know, won't be able to communicate why it's so special until they go, you know. But when you're bringing something like, trust me, well, what the fuck is that? You know, like, oh, well, this DJ, he's been doing all these parties. But I will say, you know, the downfall is you have to explain it. And so when people, you know, when you have to explain, people don't necessarily are queuing in unless there's a reason, you know. So they're like, trust me, dance party. I don't even know what that is. That sounds like consent, and I'm not giving that consent. You know, I've heard that from a lot of people. They're like, why should I trust you? Like, it's like activates a lot of people. And I'm like, I never thought about that, but you know, you can't please everybody. Yeah, like we got to go in. You know, but a lot of people are like, I don't like that. It like freaks me out, man. I don't know who you are. Why should I trust you? You know, usually when people are asking that, they're like creeps. You know, like, yeah, that's a good point. You know, I didn't really think about that when I was coming up with it. You know,
need
but
to go talk to the marketing department.
Whoops, you know, go fire B-Funk. You know, so but yeah, I feel like if it keeps going, and so that's why I hired you, and I've been investing more. Like I did a set of 27 songs that I played last year that I loved, and so I've been doing those reels. They've been okay, but it's really just a passion project for me. You know, because I same thing. I want people to see those songs and I talk about, what the moments are when I heard them or why I like them. And my thought is, if people are listening to those or reading those and seeing and connect to those moments, they'll want to go to my party, And so that's my hope, is like putting a few more things. I didn't really realize how much you need to put out there to really break through. It's not enough to be like, you're a dope DJ and have a few mixes. Like, most of the people who are going to connect with me aren't going to come to my party, or it can only go once and they're not going to be able to continuously go. And so how do I keep them, telling their friends and stuff? So that's, I'm trying to create more of these moments, like you captured on last Friday to put out there, because it's hard, it's hard to cut through, man. We got DJs who aren't DJs doing pre-recorded mixes, and people are like, sick mix is the kick is the best. I'm like, dude, fuck that. Like that kind of shit. Like, what he does is cool, but like
I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't do it either. So this is me clearly hating, but it's a different thing. And people are, he's not pushing that. Yeah, it's not DJing. He's just making. Anyway, but like that's capturing most of the ecosphere of like
the 7-second attention
span.
Yeah,
and so like I can't do that. So how do I get my little space to say, hey, you should care about this party by this local DJ?
So as you're talking about that, having to explain and people not wanting to take a risk, like I kind of feel like maybe people aren't really interested in discovery, but I also feel like when you go to a Friday night at a bar, like there's a certain amount of discovery that takes place. You have some expectations of what's going to play. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that DJ there on Friday night. Is it just the fear of the unknown is why people are just like, I mean, people show up, but like why more people aren't showing up? Because I've always been told, like, if you have to explain something to someone, then you're not convincing them.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just weird thing happening. I don't think we've crossed that threshold. Yeah, most people see like that poster up there that says "Trust Me Dance Party." It doesn't resonate with them. They don't know what the hell it is, and so they're just like, "I'm not going to that. I'm going to go to the bar I always go to." Like, or I don't go to new dance parties, because also a lot of people just don't care about music, and that's just the truth. People care about going to a good time. So like what happens is, in my opinion, you get, that's the idea of like, getting the first 100 people to like go to anything you do, and then you'll be successful.
Early adapters.
Yeah. So you get like those people like, this party's dope. And then like a few other people say, they don't even know what's going on. That's why, you have people like going to like these big, like, EDM
festivals,
shows,
yeah.
And they've got like their phone says play Taylor Swift, and it's like a big name DJ, like, because they don't know what the fuck's going. They're not there for the music. They just heard it's gonna be a party, and like there's nothing wrong with that. People just want to be at a party.
So it's not for the actual music. It's for the experience
that
just happens to be accompanied by music.
They're going to wherever
for the gram.
A bunch of exactly. A bunch of other so there are people who are there who are like there's people. So here's an example. Everybody mostly came to my party last week. It was pretty much there. It wasn't like a sellout crowd. It was there because they wanted to dance, or they really liked what I was doing, or something like that. If I continue that way, those same people will come back, but then I'll add in 30, 40 other people who are like, I just want to go to a party. Those people, my friends that heard it was a good time. What kind of music? I don't know. I just had a really good time. And they're like, oh, I'll just go because the bar I was at was really crowded and the music was bad. And so then they just come there, probably not even liking the music, but their friends are there. And so that's how you build that up. And it's like, in that people then get connected with, oh, that's a good time. It's a good party.
That was a good vibe.
And that's what a lot of parties are built on. It's not necessarily they have the dope DJs to keep you there, but like that's not what's getting the people through the door. They're just like, I just heard it's a good time. Is it maybe the drinks are good, the people are pretty, whatever, everyone's having a good time, people are loose and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm trying to build towards. But yeah, when you have to like explain like, so many things, it's like, nah, that's too much work. That's not for me. It's like people just want to hear it and go for it. This is a lot of just me, just like also like just trying to figure out something I don't necessarily know. Like if I knew I wouldn't be talking to you, we wouldn't even be here. I'd be,
you'd be flying on your jet.
I'd be flying over the place. I'd be like, no, I can't talk to you. I don't need to do this thing. So I'm still working on this.
I'm busy printing money.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but that's the kind of experience I've been noticing where like most people, they don't experience music like anybody who's listening to this podcast. Y'all are unique. People don't listen to music like we do. They just don't. There's a huge swath of people that just
the people that are listening to this right now are not the people we need to convince.
Exactly.
If we told these people like, "Yo, check this out," they'd be like, "I'm down."
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know?
And that's
and even if they were wavering, I'd be like, you know what? If you don't like it, I will pay you back your cover.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that like a lot of people do forget. They're like, oh well, they just need to hear what I'm doing, and then a lot of people don't like go home and they don't even have a favorite artist. Like that's crazy to me. Like, oh, well, like for me, I'm like I have all these moments. They don't have a favorite artist. They don't have a favorite like album or anything. They just like whatever's on the radio. Just I'll listen to this playlist or something like that. And then if music's on, it's cool. If not, and that's totally fine. It's a weird ass experience for me to think about. Or for me, I'm like I gotta have music and like I could tell you when I heard certain songs, but like so for me, that's what I'm trying to keep in mind when I'm building these parties because you need those people.
For sure.
Those are the people that like then get you into those other cities that we're talking about. This we've outgrown this venue. We need another spot. You need those people to like keep the bar going and stuff like that. Also like like that party we did last week. Started snowing. I was so pissed, right? Because, all day, y'all who are DJs seen this, who promote parties, have a perfect day. Then all of a sudden it starts raining right before the party, right when everyone's getting ready or something like that. 20% of your crowd immediately says we're not going. Yeah. I ran into a girl that I work with on Thursday.
Like, I was gonna go, but it started snowing.
She said we
You're
were
like,
all,
yo, it's Ohio in January.
We got dressed up and it started snowing, so we decided to say it was like 4 girls. I was like, whatever, but that and I was like, are you serious?
Uber, yo.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, Lyft. This is a Lyft town.
It's stupid stuff that can be overcome, but like when people aren't that hooked into your stuff.
When they're not invested.
Invested. So they're just like, we don't have to be a Trust Me dance party. He hasn't done it since September. What are we missing for, And so
You've been reloading.
Exactly, And so for me, I was like, I need this to work so then we can do another one in April, and because it builds. So, so anyway, I just remember that moment. I was so pissed. But you need those people who just show up, just because it's a party, because they make your room look good. This is another, I know we're talking about like, throwing a party like there's a thing called critical mass, and anybody who's thrown a failed party knows about this. You might have 50 people show up at like a failed night, and this has happened to me plenty of times. They all don't show up at the same time. Those first 5 girls show up. They show up too early, then they leave. You know. Then the next 3 people show up. And this is every 5 minutes. 3 girls show up.
They keep missing each
other.
And
everyone keeps missing each other. And you never, because no one wants to be that first person on the dance floor. No one wants to be at a place that's dead. So if you have a bunch of people showing up at the beginning, and like that's what people have, like fluffers on the dance floor. That's a different term for other things as well. But like people who like make your party look good. They come
the party
up to
starters. Yeah,
they're out there doing all this stuff, and so like. Because,
the hype man.
Once people want to be where people are at, and so like it's so critical. But if you have these people who just want to go to a good time, they're already there, and then they're going to basically make your party go where you expect it to be, because people don't want to be first, and that's a hard thing. How do you make
first one to run to the door?
Yeah, they want to. How do you get all these people at the same time? They're not talking to each other, So if you have this core of people who just aren't there for the music, but just there for a party, you're going to do well. And so really focusing on that too. And so making sure like we've been talking for like an hour about this show. And so obviously no one's going to just listen to this and then know. So how do I communicate what it is very quick? That's what it is. If this party, the block party, Dave Rave, Nelson Music Fest. Oh, you like that? The DJ, he does Trust Me Dance Party, and he's going to be playing music that you should like. Boom. That's it.
So
trying to connect to moments that they've been to and say, like, if you like that, you're going to like this party. So
with that being said, like, what's next? What's the future of Trust Me Dance Party?
So we got one in April, probably have one in the summer, probably have 2 more in the fall, but, trying to see how this having these pictures, having these reels, really trying to like ramp up some of the marketing and stuff like that. Like this is the first time I've had a date, this far out that I can actually market, in a way. So, but hey, this is thing build up. I've got a website, people can go to off my link tree. Trying to just use some of these tools in a more in your face way. So like, I've been doing Facebook advertising, sponsored advertising and Instagram the last 3 parties. It's been really good. I spent about, this is not a thing. I spent like $60 because what I found is most of the people that see my stuff don't necessarily go, but their friends do, and the interaction helps me a bunch. And so the thing I've been doing is basically I have these fake ads of famous people saying that they're going to be at my party. So let me see if I can pull up some of the famous people.
They're quite amazing too.
And so
the testimonials.
Yeah, the testimonials. Like and it was funny. It was my last party, and I was just like, who should show up, and it was right when Rihanna was announced for the Super Bowl. Yeah, so it was September 26th, and it says. It's a picture of Rihanna. I'm doing two things: playing the Super Bowl and going to Trust Me dance party. And I just had like Joe Camel. I had Judd Bushler from the Chicago Bulls. I had the guy who invented the Super Soaker, and they're all saying like these ridiculously glowing advertisements for a party. Some reason people loved these. They're the dumbest things ever. Like
they're clever.
Like this guy. I haven't written a song about Trust Me dance party yet. I'm waiting for the words to come into existence that describes its beauty and awesomeness. That's from Adele, Grammy Award winner. And so it's like I just throw these out there and people just go wild. Like, my first highest liked Facebook post. This is my DJ page, not my personal page. Is usually I'll get 7 likes on something, and that's usually like a very timely post, which I think is pretty good. Anybody who's got a Facebook page that's I've got like 2,200 or 2,200 Facebook likes on there. That's pretty good. When I sponsor stuff, I had like 60 likes on stuff like that. Like, so it's getting out there. People are sharing and loving it. So, if you can, and that's when I have a sponsored ad for the event. And so I found, the sponsored ad does okay, but for some reason I feel like some of that algorithm just kind of spills over in my other posts. So I'm hoping to do more of those and kind of push that. So I just share that with anybody who's been trying to play around with like spending some money, because I used to spend like $50, $100 and get nothing. But I also realized I didn't have anything to promote that was like going out there. So if you can like think about this, but you've got to have all this stuff. I had to think about who the people were, what they were going to say. I had to find a picture of them. I had to go on Canva, make all these posts, and I had to schedule them out. And so that takes a little bit of work, because it's just me. Like I don't have a marketing person or anything like that. And so, so my hope is maybe I could do this in another town. Maybe Dayton wants to do this. Let me know.
Yeah.
Passionate
we got to
DJ.
find a venue first.
Yeah. It's like, but like I want to take this somewhere. My hope is like, that this is, the way that Athens is really known for 80s night with DJ Bardicus. I want to Trust Me dance party on that level. Like Barty comes to my parties. He and I are good friends. And so like having two of the biggest dance parties, in the area in one town, it's great for us. They both happen at Casa. So two of the best parties in Athens, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a win for the city.
Venue, and so that's a win for that venue. When Bardicus and I were talking about this, like I said, a lot of people don't know who the DJs are or whatever. They might just be at Casa and be like, if all the DJs are killing it, then they're like, well, I could just show up, and then that helps
regardless of what night it is. I know they're going to bring it.
Yeah, and that helps us, because then they might not even see that I'm DJing, but then they just show up, and it's the same thing as people didn't know what's going on, but then they make my party bigger, and that makes me bigger, and then for the next one I can use that, and the footage that you're taking is even doper because there's like 50 more people in that crowd going crazy. So that's the hope. Look for me online. I'm at this time recording. I have not put the mix up yet, but you'll be seeing this mix. You'll also be seeing my live mix from the Halloween block party, which is fucking bananas. I need to get that out there. You can tell I'm a little behind.
Is that the one where you were in the giraffe costume?
No, this is when I was dressed up as a NASA astronaut for this year.
Okay.
So yeah, that was.
I like the giraffe costume.
The giraffe costume is legendary. We were partying. That was the year that the you remember here in Ohio, for anybody who's listening in the Midwest. There was an exotic zoo in Zanesville.
and the guy let all his animals out.
Yeah, he had some psychotic episode or something, but he like let all his animals out, and then he
and we're not just talking like
lions,
dogs,
tigers, and bears,
like some Joe Exotic type.
Oh yeah, dude, it was
mess.
Like, it was really sad because they ended up the police had to
put him down,
them, and they didn't. But like. In that year, we were like, we're going to be party animals. And so we ended up, because that was when LMFAO was doing Party Rock. And so we're just like, I had this giant, like, I'm 6'3" with this giraffe costume. Probably makes
about
me
7
feet.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking. I look like Jeffrey the Giraffe from like Toys R Us, but I've got like a thong and like gold chains and stuff. And it's all. I mean, that's what's in my logo.
It's legendary.
Yeah, it's in that. I love it. But yeah, I was an astronaut this year, and it was it was a great party with just being back from, we did it last in 2019, and it's one of my favorite parties to do. So yeah, you'll see that. But yeah, you can check out the mixes from. There's a few of the old Trust Me Dance parties on my Mixcloud and SoundCloud if you want to check those out. Different energies, but you can't see the amazing videos that I did. But Mo has captured some of that. So if you
I tried my best.
Check it out on my Instagram. Yeah. So
cool. Well, thank you so much for inviting us into, the den of paneling.
the wood panel haven.
Wood panel haven. Yeah.
This is not green screen, y'all. This is all real. This is true 1960s wood paneling. All the way goes down here, goes up the walls, and so. Clearly, I have not been producing in this space because it's not soundproofed at all. So
yeah, so maybe for next Fire Away Friday, you can drop some of those video clips in there.
Yeah, I need to connect more with that. Yeah, because a number of people. I will say there was a DJ that reached out to me. Pace, the DJ, reached out to me on Instagram. Had a gig, and he's like, hey, and it literally started with, hey, you don't know me, but I saw you in Passionate DJ. And I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Just that's the way it should work. DJs connected. So, yeah, if you got questions or just interested or want to
if you want to start something like this, where you're at, that'd be dope.
Let me know. I'm happy.
Franchise this bad boy.
Yeah, no, let me know, man.
Get that mailbox money.
I'll come down with you, but no, I'm going to show you how to do it. Especially if you're in like a weird market like Athens, and you got nothing going on in the middle of Kansas or something like that. We're all in these same. I know we talked about this once. We're all
same but different.
These markets where like there ain't shit going on and no one knows what's going on. Dude, that is fucking everywhere. Be like, that's not as bad. Athens is it's the same everywhere. We're fighting the same issues, and if you're gonna be
considering it's a college town, like the conversations we have about your challenges, to me, it's like it doesn't make sense, but. I know you're not making it up. Yeah, so it's really weird.
Yeah, and then people were like, don't you get like, half of the bar take for your take? I'm like, nope, that's not how Athens works.
Unless even if you rob them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then I can't come back next time. Whatever. But yeah, it's So but I'm saying like if you are unique and sincere to what you're doing, other people will see that, and you just got to keep pushing, and then people show up, there's people listen to electronic music in Oklahoma, like you're down in Mississippi, people are jamming all types of stuff, whatever little town you're in, just make it dope and just keep doing it. But yeah, if you want to connect about that, I've seen it all. I'm in a live music venue town, and I'm playing old school hip hop and the Percolator and stuff like that with like I'll Be Sure, and it's working. So.
Yeah. And I think we'll just go ahead and leave with that. Keep pushing, like we always say. It's all about passion and purpose, and obviously, B-Funk, you have that passion and purpose. So thank you so much again for letting us come here.
Buy more merch.
Oh yeah, buy more merch. Got the murdered out Passionate DJ shirt.
They get it. There's a reissue, re-up of it. Thanks, Mo.
All right, so that brings this week's episode to a close. Keep on spinning. Wash your damn hands. I'm Mo. He's B-Funk. We're out.
Good to see y'all.